and welcome everyone, it's Karen. Thanks for joining me. I've got another same supplies but two different cards video for you again today. And for this one I've chosen to use this Art Impressions, it's called the Sheep Set. It's the stamps and it comes with the dies and it's a fun stamp set. I have this embossing folder now. It's not marked on it who it's by and I feel like I picked this up traveling somewhere, so I don't know who that one is by. I've also got this PinkFresh stitched scallop square set of dies that I was going to use, and two pieces of cardstock, purple and that yellow flower one, which I'm sorry, I have no idea where it came from. It's from when I scrapbooked, I'm guessing, but I have 4 sons and I know I didn't choose it for any one of them, so I don't know where it's from. But anyway, let's get on to the cards. So I started by taking the sentiments out of that stamp set and just clear heat embossing them. One of them I'm just going to use part of it, but you'll see. So for the first card, I've put purple on my card base and I have embossed a piece of white cardstock with that embossing folder. And I've now die cut from both the purple and the yellow paper the squares. And I cut a piece of scrap white cardstock that was the size of the largest square just to make it easier to glue this down, because on that embossing folder it's a little bit tougher to make it all stick. So this was a bit of an easy fix. So I'm just alternating the layering of these squares. And for this center one I did pop it up on a bit of foam tape, just to give it a bit more interest, somewhere for the sheep to go. Now I'm using also this Belated Birthday Wishes die, which is from Creative Expressions, and I will list everything down below. But I didn't want the belated, so I'm just trimming that off here, which was pretty easy to do. And I'm now going to glue, I stacked up about 3 layers, but I'm tapping off the glue here. I just find I always get glue that oozes out when I do these little words. So I find if I tap off some of that glue, it sort of flattens it out so it doesn't ooze out the sides as much. So apart from sticky fingers, it's the easiest way I find. So, and then once I had those stacked up, I am just clear heat setting them. I'm using some Versamark ink and clear embossing powder. And I think that I embossed this 3 times. I gave it gives it a much glossier, more rounded kind of a look. So I'm pretty sure I did it 3 times. And just heat setting that there. So then I glued this square down to my card base. And I just had to make sure I had my sentiment on, because I like to forget to put the sentiment on and then I have to move everything. So I remembered today and I've stuck everything down, and there I am just tapping off that glue again. And I think that I put this sentiment under acrylic blocks for a little bit. With that embossing folder, it was a little bit tougher to get it to stick down. Now that To You, I cut from one of those sentiments, and I did pop up the end on foam tape as well, just so it had something to sit down on. And how cute is that sheep? I love that one. I just think she's so fun. So that's the first card done. Pretty simple. And the second one, I am now using that yellow paper on my card base. And I have stacked up, I think that was 6 layers of that die just out of white cardstock and a piece of acetate, and I also die cut it out of the purple, and you can probably guess I'm going to make a shaker card with this. So I'm just putting some double-sided tape on the back of that purple layer, which is the top layer. And then I'm centering that acetate down over that square and just pressing it in to make sure it's well sealed. Now, you guys, it would not be a Karen card if I didn't make a mistake. I don't know what happens to me when I'm making a video, but I always mess up. So you're going to see it here. I am kind of lining up where my sentiment will go and where the square should go. And then I glued down my embossing folder and look at that. I don't know what happens, but I'm so far off center and I'm not seeing it as I'm doing this. So I just have to leave it in for you. So there I'm like going, well, that's not quite right. So I had to trim that off. So that's what I'm doing here. So this is not quite an A2 size card in the end, but it does look better. And then I had colored up these little hats. They're part of that stamp set. And the sentiment I just cut with a circle die. And I'm gluing that right directly to the inside of the shaker. Just had to press that down pretty hard because of that embossing. And then adding in some shaker bits. And I like to just peel back 2 corners so that the opposite corners don't have any tape, so you can kind of line things up a little bit more easily that way. And then once you get it lined up, you can just press it into the opened areas. And then just remove that release paper. And of course you have to test the shake on these. So that's the sentiment. I just put it on a bit of purple cardstock and I did mount that up on foam tape. So it's a bit more in line with the square. Now these sheep, I actually put these up on an action wobbler. These are also from Art Impressions, but I've had them forever sitting on my desk. I just never think to use them. So you just remove the release paper from one side and stick that, I tried to center that over the sheep. And then I took the release paper off the other side and I stuck this right down to the front of that shaker. So when you shake it around, the sheep wiggle a little bit too. And of course you can do that. So I just thought that was kind of fun. Those sheep are adorable. So there you have it. That's card number 2. So they're both quite spring-like cards. Not too many supplies for these ones. I thought they were quite fun and entertaining. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope I'll see you again next time. Have a great day.